Well, the boosters now have to, because they're going to build the shell. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I saw something about a sports complex, and I looked at the Grand County Press quick. There was something about a sports complex.
Yeah, it must be something different.
Is this? I need to read it because I hate to bring something up. Is a sports complex where they talk about what they're building at the school with the levee passing? Is that what that was?
No, because I think it was something about there was a nonprofit started for the sports complex, but there is no other sports complex being built that I know of.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm confused.
Because it was a community center that was being built. It was specifically said it wasn't a sports complex. So I don't know. Maybe there's 3 going in. Well, I had to read the article. Listen. I just saw the headlines, which is what most people read anyway.
I look. My wife had it. And
if it's not totally written out in the bold.
Yeah, I don't. That's why YouTube Shorts are popular, Facebook Reels. I mean,
So am I going to break this video up into 400 1-minute sections?
You may want to. We do need to figure out a way to get our message out to citizens, because Facebook isn't the be all.
No, but we do have YouTube subscribers too.
Yeah, but normally people who aren't on Facebook aren't on YouTube traditionally. Yeah, So we got to figure out a way, because when we've told some of the some people in the community that probably aren't social media experts about some of this stuff, they were like, even a businessman was like, "What?"
Yeah,
and we're like, "Yeah."
The $480 being paid for reading a book, someone literally was like, "You're lying." I'm like,
No.
But
listen, the teachers, if the board office is giving out these kind of raises, they're probably trying to help the teachers out a little bit, which anyway, I think they're probably trying to help the teachers out, because if the teachers hear this, what? We give you a book and $480, So I don't know.
That's what I would say.
It's a lot of tax.
Stall on all administration raises until the scores go up.
Absolutely. And that would be,
because that would show that you actually care about education and not just words.
Listen, so they don't care about every child, and I mean that genuinely, because of stuff we found out this week that we had to report up, stuff that's not being taken care of for all the kids, and it's so every kid doesn't matter. Stuff that they say in the board office meetings, I learned, wasn't true. So whatever you hear there, it's a bunch of...
there's a spin on it. Yeah. And trust me, for people that says we are the ones lying, you have no clue what has went on behind the scenes that we've... How many videos have we made?
We've cut it.
That we have totally trashed.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to make it personal.
Yeah.
But the stuff that we have...
That's being called and told that they need help. Parents are calling, and unfortunately, it's not the sports parents. It's the kids that traditionally are forgotten about.
I had a young man call me this week and say, "I take my kids out of school and I'm moving."
I've heard that.
Moving.
5
and
kids.
I said, "Why?"
Yeah.
He said, "Because this school has done nothing. I have begged for help, and they have done nothing to help me. And moving out of state."
Which is a shock. Well, it's more expensive, I would assume.
Yeah. And I was like, "I'm sorry." And he says, "If you want me to come on the podcast, I will come on the podcast. I will tell my story." And I was like, well, I said, one, it would just be one side. So we need to do a little investigation to make sure. But you heard that from someone else. Yes.
People must think I go around asking people these questions. I was eating at the Waffle House in Winchester, Virginia. And I have my computer up. I'm working. I'm taking phone calls. I stop there. It's quick, easy, and cheap. 30 minutes in and out, and I can get some work done because I drive an hour and a half. So I try to stop every hour and a half, 2 hours, and just get caught up on work.
And get a Waffle House. We know.
It happens to be at a restaurant. It happens to be. But I was talking with the lady, and she said, I think May said, "How's your morning?" It was my server. "How's your morning?" It's good. I'm tired." I'm like, "Yeah, it was a long drive over the mountain." She's like, "Really? Where do you live?" I said, "I live in Moorfield, right at the Hardy County, Grant County border." She's like, "Oh, I'm from Petersburg." I'm like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "I moved from Petersburg. My daughter was getting bullied. I reported to the school multiple times. They did nothing, so I moved to Winchester." And I said, "Come on, stop it. Because we're doing this research."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I'm looking for the cameras.
Yeah.
She's like, "No." We reported it and nothing happened. So we got out of there. And
well,
I'm like,
and I'm not telling the whole story because I think my wife wants to, but that's one of the reasons we pulled Autumn out of school.
Which is, which is interesting because we found out that they don't even follow their own policy. So you when I say whatever they say, hey, this is our policy, we're learning that what they're saying in meetings is so, I hate to use the word untruthful. I don't know what other word to use. It's not the full story.
Maybe they didn't read the policy totally to know what it is. We can give a quick breakdown of the bullying policy. When a bullying episode is reported,
Yep.
it's supposed to go up the chain, however, and at the very end of the chain, whatever is decided, the assistant superintendent is supposed to call the family and let them know what the outcome was. And we're finding out that is not being done.
It's not happened in any of the instances where we've been involved.
Yes. Now, maybe we just hit weird instances. I don't know. But it wasn't in my case.
Yeah. It wasn't in the cases
it
where
wasn't
we
in
had
the
it.
other cases where we've had it as well.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, they're really busy, and so maybe they didn't to read the whole policy through to know that's what the end result's supposed to be.
The number one feedback that our mother got was, first one was bullying at school. Number two was, I don't want men in the women's bathrooms, even though that
was a lot. Yes. Even though some of the people elected said they would allow it.
Because the state told us so, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, surprise. So those were the two biggest issues that she was told about.
That was the
bullying.
Ones that
and listen, the last election, bullying was big.
Funny. One person said, Mom knocked on the door. And she, said, "Hi, I'm Dixie Lee Murray. I'm running for Board of Education." And he says, "I got one question before I even say a word to you. Are you allowing transgenders and people in women's bathroom, change bathroom?" And she's like, "Absolutely not." He's like, "Okay, then you can come in. Otherwise, get off my porch."
Apparently, there wasn't enough of those for her. Apparently, she didn't knock on enough doors.
What we found out, and we'll put this nicely, is that there are people masking themselves as conservatives, and they're not. They're liberals.
Well, you have to look at their policies.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and that's actually not uncommon. I mean, that's the same thing happens in the state of West Virginia.
Listen,
the Senate.
I saw a guy who I like him. I like him a lot. He's all excited about Jim Justice winning the nomination to go on to run because now he has to go against the Democrat in November. And I'm like, no, this guy's a hardcore conservative. And I'm like,
Jim Justice isn't conservative.
He was a Democrat before Trump took office.
Yeah,
he's not a conservative. Now they're like Brian McKinney said, there are some things that they're conservative on.
They say they tick the boxes on the hot topics. Which is traditionally abortion and gun rights.
Yes.
Because if you're conservative and you're for abortion or against gun rights, you're done.
Yeah. You're not conservative.
Well, but I'm saying if you don't say that, right?
Yeah.
But so they tick the boxes because they run polls. I mean, I don't know if people know this, but they run polls.
Run enough polls for Mom.
I didn't run any polls. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did not.
Now we'll learn for next year when I run. In 2 years.
Lord, 2 years. I'm not driving.
Wait, did I just announce my candidacy?
I'm not driving. You can run again. Who's in Grant County? Because you'd be Grant District, right?
It would be Jared Alt.
Okay.
I think.
He voted for the levy. So,
Yeah. So
and
maybe
49% of people didn't want the levy. So you got a good base there. People who don't want the levy.
I just have to flip 1%, I guess.
That's true. Sure, but I'm not driving the van around with a sign the whole day. I took a day off work.
You don't want my bald head on the back of a sign, gigantic bald head?
I drove to every precinct. I was everywhere. Scheer, Maysville, Laymansville, Baird, Mount Storm. I was all over.
It's a running joke because every time Icky sees me, Icky will be like, "Put a hat on. The glare is hitting my eyes." Can you imagine a big old sign with the sun shining down on that bald spot?
But I think that'd be part of your campaign. Like, we'd actually have the sign like a glimpse from your head.
Yeah,
or something.
like it's a halo or something. So
I'm so glad I'm not a politician.
It's funny.
It's something I just have no interest in. No interest.
Maybe you and I could run against each other for something.
I'm in a different county.
And no, but there's stuff that you can run against each other.
But they split up the districts.
No, but like Senate.
No, I don't want to be. I'm not a politician.
Yeah,
and God is not.
Then we can really bring out all the because we know each other's secrets.
Oh, yeah,
like that time you threw an umbrella at me and put a hole in the wall.
I was close. If you weren't as fast, I would have taken you out. I've tried many times. Remember when Dad was playing football with us and I kicked you? I tackled you, put my foot on your chest, and threw you over in a bank.
So we had in the front of our house. That was kind of the out of bounds.
It was the out of bounds, straight down. Off. Yeah, I got you out of bounds.
Yeah,
and Dad came over. You're brothers. You're brothers. I'm like, maybe not now. Is he okay? Is he still alive? Is he?
Yeah.
No, I would.
We had a lot of fun.
God has never told me to get into politics. Now, I will say this, and I'm not saying get into politics. I'm not saying stay out. The church, in my opinion, this is my pastor conversation. The church has been so aloof, and we've stayed away from politics because we don't want to have those tough conversations. And I did a post yesterday, which I thought was more than appropriate, and it wasn't even my post I made up. Somebody posted on here. Let me see what it says here.
So what you're saying is you're not smart enough to make up the post.
No, I wasn't smart enough to do this. Some Christians would have told David to pray for Goliath instead of slaying him, right? And so I put David prayed and slayed. But we have been in such an aloof manner as a church, and it's not just here. I mean, it's everywhere.
Well, they think as a church you have to stay out of politics.
No.
That's not what it is.
No.
Now, the church 501 C3 has to stay out.
Yes, but
the
church members do not.
Because remember, we're the church.
Agree, not a building.
Yes. So we are supposed to be in politics.
A county commissioner in a different county, who I know, very nice guy, really respect him a lot. Him and I were talking about it. He's like, God told me to get back into politics because we were told at the church by our pastor not to do it. And then we saw how things kept getting worse and worse. I mean, there's so many things that have happened and that the Christians have not stood up. And some people say, well, you're not supposed to. You just pray. Okay. I'm glad David didn't just pray. I'm glad that Jesus, when, didn't want to cause an issue when he healed somebody on a Sunday. God forbid, right? So whenever you stand up, it seems to really ruffle the feathers of religious people who are into a religious system. But the Christian community should get out there. They should run for it. We need a Christian voice, not a conservative Republican voice. We need a Christian voice on all these committees, whether it's the city council in Petersburg, whether it's the county commissioners, whether it's the Board of Education. We need Christians there to influence what's happening because things are not going. I mean, to know that somebody stood up and said, "Hey, we can't stop this the LGBTQ and the transgender thing the state's telling us," that to me is that's not a good position. You need to say, listen, they can come and sue me. I'm not voting for this. This is against my morals. But I don't see people doing that.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's all going.
When you stand up, people want to shout you down.
Yeah, that's
that. It's like, shout me down. It's fine.
Yeah.
God's
going to fix it. Well, we're the hands and feet of God.
Yeah.
Christ.
That means we're the bride of Christ. To fix it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No, just pray, JR.
So while I might not be in the Board of Education now,
we can influence a lot.
I'm going to ask once again, Board of Education members, no more raises of administration personnel until grades come up. And that to me should be, even if you're the bottom of the first third, 18th, that would be, I might even give them, if you can jump 10 spots.
Well, but you got what you're asking. You have to be definitive with your ask.
Yeah,
we're saying we need to be in the top third, the top 18, before we do it. Before we're asking them to do it. And the thing is, we're going to continue the votes that they do. We're going to make the votes public of all the board members. People need to know,
which they are public, but not everyone has time to research, find them.
But it's hard to find.
Yeah,
we can't even find the education meetings on anything on social media.
Yeah, and I keep asking this. They're supposed to be out there somewhere, but
they're supposed to be live. Yeah, we were told they spent money to buy the ability to make them live.
But we've asked that question once before, and of all the people responding, they've never responded and told us where to find that.
Tell us where to find it.
Yeah. So I'd like to know.
We want to make it public,
but we want to make it more accessible to say, hey, here are your 5 Board of Education members all voted to allow CRT.
Yeah,
I'm just using that as an example.
I understand.
But we want to let people know what they're voting.
Yeah.
So that it's readily available, because people don't have time to research like we have had to research. We don't have time.
And they need to make these decisions because in 2 years there's going to be candidates that are up for vote again.
Yes, there will be 2 up for vote. Well, no. Wait, the one is a 2-year term.
Yeah.
So will there be 3 up for vote
I think
again?
Jared Amtower was 2 years because he got the lowest of the top 3. So yeah, it would be. Jared's for 2.
Yeah.
And then Jared Alt's going to
Yeah.
come up, and then
And Ashley, I believe. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So that'd be
Yeah.
3 up.
Yeah. So it's going to be 3 again.
So it's going to be the same next year. There's going to be a 3 vote somehow.
No.
Because there was 3 this year open because of Pandy resigning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 up again next year. So that's very important. Listen, 3 can sway it.
Dude.
3 is a majority right there.
Right
so
now.
next year, now you have, and I hate to say this because they'll say they're not, but it's 5 people with liberal backings.
Well, they all the decisions they voted for doesn't show me it's conservative Christian.
Yes.
It doesn't. And I said Republicans are not for taxes. So
Yeah.
say what you want. Well, we need stuff. I understand we need stuff, but we don't need wasteful stuff.
Yeah.
So,
They have a definite liberal background with the way they have voted.
yeah.
you
It
know.
shows, and that shows your heart, how you vote.
Yeah. Which, it's fine. You need liberals and conservatives.
Yeah, but
You
the
know,
people need to know who you're voting for. So when they go up for re-election, I think we need to advertise, hey, this person up for re-election, this is how they voted. Because people need to know how they're voting, because it's not the superintendent, it's the Board of Education members.
So the first thing we will look at is next year to see if they vote a raise. If they vote a raise again, we are going to post that they voted for the raise and what the raise
who was
increases
yea or nay.
were. Yep. Because that number did shock me. That I will have to say.
It's a big number for 10, 11 people. It's a big number, especially this community, because this is not a affluent community, So that's a big number. I mean, that would be a number I'd expect to see in Chicago, New York, LA.
Which I looked,
big
and
number.
surprisingly, Chicago superintendents,
What, Chicago Public Schools?
don't make tons more than here.
Yeah.
That
it was.
shocked
You would
me.
think it'd be double. It's
Yeah.
not double.
No.
They
No.
make maybe 30% more in
Yeah.
a city in their school district. CPS, Chicago Public Schools. That's a 2.8 million. 2.8 million people live in that district, so it could be 1 million kids.
Yeah.
And I think we have 1,500 here.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah, that did shock me doing some research.
It's a
Because I
big
was
number.
just like, you were from Chicago, so I was like, I'll look up Chicago. And I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a shock. I think we talked about it, and I was
Yeah.
like, I bet you the superintendent's making $500,000
Yeah,
a year.
I was like, no way.
I'm like, it's Chicago.
No
I mean, they have to. And it was like, oh,
Yeah.
wow. I think it was like 210 or something
Really?
like that. Yeah, it was not big at all. I was like, for the superintendent,
I thought
of
we found out it was
Chicago?
high ones.
Maybe it was.
I don't think
Maybe it was 180.
210. Yeah.
Maybe it was one.
Yeah.
I looked so many numbers.
I didn't think it was in the 2s. I think it was high one. I'm going from memory right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big. I mean, it's
I looked up so many
and
numbers.
that's like a massive. That's top 3 school district in America.
yeah.
So
So that was a shock. So we can only plead our case. Keep watching. We're gonna keep doing. As we find things out.
We
We're
got
gonna keep
plenty
doing
more.
them.
We got plenty
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. We haven't even scratched the
Keeps
surface.
coming in. It's like, oh,
Yeah. So I have to break this up again. It was supposed to be short and
okay.
sweet.
That's okay. Short and
So
sweet.
okay, everyone, explore Greene County. Have a great day.